Hello everyone. Right, today I'm going to show you how to make flapjack. Now, flapjack recipe is on page 38 of the school recipe book, and you've got a list of all the ingredients and a method there, as well as watching this video. So for flapjack, you're going to learn how to do the melting method. So that's a skill within this product. You will need 200 grams of porridge oats. Okay, so there's my 200 grams already weighed out. You will need 4 tablespoons of golden syrup. So I've bought the one that's in the squeezy bottle purely because it's a bit cleaner to use rather than dipping my spoon into a golden syrup tin. You will need 75 grams of sugar. Okay, so that's the sugar already weighed out. And you will need 100 grams of butter or margarine. So I've just used this that I already had in the fridge, so that's perfect. So that's 100 grams already weighed out. You will need to line a baking tin. So by that I mean adding some baking paper into a baking tin. By doing that, you'll be able to get your flapjack out of the tin much easier and it shouldn't stick. So what I've done is gone around the baking tin with some butter and then cut out some baking paper the size of my tin and press that into the tin itself. Okay, so get all that prepared before you start cooking. My oven is preheated to gas mark 4, so that's already on and ready and warming up. Okay, so once you've greased your tin and put some baking paper into the tin, we can get started. So in a large mixing bowl, you are going to add in your porridge oats. Okay, there you go. Remember to adopt the rule, clean as you go at all times. Also remember that before cooking you need to make sure you've got a clean apron on, you've washed your hands for at least 20 seconds. If you've got long hair, tie your long hair back and make sure you've got your work area nice and clean and tidy. Remember, you only cook at home if you've got an adult present with you at all times. So there's my oats in a large mixing bowl. In a small saucepan, I'm going to add in my butter or margarine, whatever it is you're using. And then going to add in my sugar. And then my 4 tablespoons of golden syrup. So I'm using some measuring spoons here, okay, and on here it says 1 tablespoon or 15 ml, okay, and I want 4 of those. So I can squeeze that into the measuring spoon and then straight into the saucepan. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, once you've got those ingredients into your saucepan, you need to heat that gently on the hob. Now, as I've already said, remember, always make sure that you've got an adult present when you are cooking, especially when you are using the cooker. Okay, a little bit of sugar there that I spilt earlier. Okay, so when using the hob, make sure that the saucepan handle is always turned in, okay? You do not want it sticking out like that. That will be easy for somebody to knock off. Do not have it over any naked flame, so do not have it over any of the part of the cooker where you may have a flame going. Turned in where it's nice and safe. Use a wooden spoon when you are heating something on the hob, because this will then not conduct the heat, so the handle will not get hot. Okay, let's just move that forward a bit more. Okay, so gently on a low heat, you're going to melt those ingredients together. Alright, and you want to melt it until you can't hear the scraping of the sugar on the bottom of the saucepan. and very, very, very gently. This is going to get very hot, so you've got to make sure you are being careful at all times. Okay. Now with this product, because as you noticed, I put quite a lot of sugar in here, also a lot of golden syrup is gone in here as well. So this isn't something that you would eat on a regular basis. Okay, this is something you would have as a treat because the amount of sugar and the amount of fat that's gone in here. However, the porridge oats, they are high in fibre, so they're a really good product to give you plenty of fibre in your diet. Okay, but of course we know that we should be reducing our fat content and our sugar content in our diet. Alright, so this is gently started to melt. Keep stirring as it's melting. The porridge oats as well will give you complex carbohydrates, so it's a good product to give you slow releasing energy. So that's going to help with your energy stores as well. Okay, as this starts to melt, I'll just show you on the camera. Alright, it goes nice and runny, and you can't hear any scraping of the sugar granules. Just going to give that a little bit longer to heat that up. You can do different variations of the flapjack. So in the recipe on page 38, there are variations of extra ingredients you can add in. So for example, you could do apple flapjack and add a medium apple into there by slicing it up and chopping it into small pieces. You could add in some dried fruit. You could maybe add some ginger into there if you want a bit more of a spicy flapjack. So there's different types of variations that you can do as well. Okay, so I think the sugar is now dissolved. The mixture is starting to become clear. It's heated gently, so I do not want to boil it, okay? You just want to heat it gently. So once you've got to that stage, which I think I have, you're then going to add this into your porridge oats, into a large bowl. So bring your porridge oats back to where you're working. Turn off the heat. And then you can pour this into your bowl with the porridge oats. Remember, this is very, very hot, so be gentle with the ingredients. You're going to stir that carefully. Make sure you adopt the rule, clean as you go, so you can see my work surface is nice and clear at all times. Right, mix all that in so the wet ingredients get combined with those dried ingredients. If you're adding any additional ingredients in here, like an apple, then you add it at this point as well, and you combine it all up. This smells delicious, just like you would expect flapjack to start smelling. Right, when you've combined all of that all together, you're going to add this into your tin. So this is a tin that I prepared earlier. Okay, you're going to pour all of these ingredients into this tin. I'm going to use a spatula, so it's much easier to scrape the ingredients from the side of the bowl using a spatula. So all of that goes into your tin, like so. And then you're going to press those ingredients into the tin so it's all even in the tin. So spread it all out so it's all nice and even, pressing it down with the spatula or back of a spoon if you haven't got one of these spatulas at home. And then you're going to cook this for about 15 to 20 minutes on gas mark 4 of your preheated oven. Remember, always use oven gloves when placing food into the oven. as well as using the oven gloves, of course, when you're taking food out of the oven. So this is going to go into the oven now for 20 minutes, so I'll see you back here in 20 minutes time. Okay, welcome back. My flapjack should now be ready. It's been cooking now then for about 20 minutes. So remember, use oven gloves when taking things out of the oven. Have the oven door nice and wide. Let the oven door settle so it doesn't bounce back. Use your 2 hands, making sure you've got something to put a hot pan on, so you're not going to put it straight onto the work surface. Take your flapjack out of the oven. Turn the oven off when you've finished using it. So there's my flapjack, golden brown, looking perfect. Alright, so let that cool for a couple of minutes, and then just using a knife, just a normal round bladed knife, butter knife, I'm just going to mark this into fingers, like so. So then when I come to eat it, it's easy for me just to tear pieces off. And then I'm going to let that cool completely before I take it out of the tin, otherwise it will all break up. Okay, so there's my finished flapjack. I'm going to let that cool completely for about 15 minutes, and then I will remove it from the tin. So enjoy making that. Remember all of your hygiene and safety rules. Make sure that you clean the kitchen, you wash up, you tidy up, you put everything away just how it is organised in your kitchen at home. Okay, bye.